This is the S&P 500 Spider ETF SPY one-day reading for April 11th, 2025. Currently, it's March 30th, 2025, 7:33 p.m. Eastern Time. SPY at the time of this reading, $555.66 USD. And the image file for the April 11th reading was created on March 27th, 2025 at 12:28 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, what we're going to cover in this video, if you're new to the channel, we're going to cover the overall trend direction and chart behavior for the day. We're going to give you the hour-by-hour sequence of chart events. We're going to give you timing about the highest high, the lowest low, and give you any trades that we see. Remember, it's the sequence of chart events that's most important to pay attention to. The hour-by-hour timing is usually on point, but there will be cases where you need to give it plus or minus an hour or two of wiggle room. This is why I don't recommend trading this information alone. If you're serious about trading this information, you must have access to the Discord, live Discord trade alerts and live trading view chart links where we draw the entries and the exits and all that stuff in real time. And you get that as part of the early access subscription on our website. I'll show you how to get that at the end of the video if anybody's serious about trading this stuff. All right, guys. So in the overall trend and behavior for the day, we have an important range on a multi-day scale that's highlighted, likely to the downside. Behavior around the high side, a resistance level also important on a multi-day scale that will decline from and return to it either today or in the following reading. Behavior around the lowest low, a decline through multiple support levels into the low, and there's a trade out of that low bottom end of the range. There's a huge move from the bottom of the range to or pushing the upper end of the range higher actually. And we're going to get into the hour-by-hour sequence of chart events in just a moment, but I want to make sure you're aware. The whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. You do that by following through on the rule of karma, which is the agreement between this channel and anybody utilizing this information. What we're expecting that you're doing is going to the website Tarot for Traders. Under resources, you're donating 5% of all profits forward to one of these charities, successfully transmuting the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill, and then saying thank you by sending 5% back to the channel through one of these links. Expressing gratitude begets more gratitude. This leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend that 90% out of love. Following those rules makes you an angel investor of the channel. Universe will send it back to you tenfold for following through. Do that repeatedly, and I'm definitely going to notice you. I have quite a lot of friends who follow that I made through just because they started following that. All right, so let's get into it. In the pre-market, there's likely to be a breakout, and it looks like the breakout probably does not hold. There's a resistance level highlighted around the open that we failed to break through many times before. It's likely to be the same resistance from the close of the 10th. And a pop and a drop either out of a low and then back to a low, or like there's a pop and then a drop into a low. One of those two, but there's a low early morning in like the first half hour, probably a lower one between roughly 11 and 10, and between roughly 10 and 11. There's also likely to be a high between roughly 10 and 11, where we have this, we go from a pop and drop to a low, then a failed attempt to break the key resistance, creating high, followed by a decline through key support into a trough and low for the day again, and then a huge move to the upside around 11 o'clock within a period of volatility. Huge move taking us to a higher high between roughly 11 and 12. Sharp drop between 11 and 12, between 12 and 1, into sideways rotation between, the sharp drop might actually come around 1 o'clock. Hard to say, but we successfully find support at a key support level, and a day's low again there between roughly 1 and 2, and then a rally out of that. Looks like a rally between roughly 2 and 3 might create some opportunity, but it's unclear. So I'm gonna avoid that one. Big move to the upside, reaching for a distant resistance in the last hour, creating a crest that we sell off from down 2 and through support, and then we do a U-shaped reversal, break out to the upside through that same price level, and reuse it as support. Price swings in the post market. Actually, I am going to use that, guys. So likely what I would do, this is setting us up for a big drop on the in the morning of the 14th. No, it's too unclear. I would avoid that trade, guys. But what you can do is when we're at day's lows somewhere here between, I would open up a partial long position at day's lows. After we've seen a low and a day's high, we should see a lower day's low here, probably around 10 o'clock or 10:30, I should say. Open up a partial long position. If we go lower until 11 o'clock, I would add to that long position, and I would expect to close out of that long position when we have this huge move to the upside, taking us to a higher high for the day than we previously had. And when I see that range of the old high, that's likely where I would exit. Rather than trying to gauge how much higher we're going to go, I just use that as a good exit. Likely somewhere around, likely it could be anywhere between 11 and 2 o'clock. But as soon as you see that happen, that's when I would exit. And again, guys, I would only really trade this information if you got access to the Discord day trade alerts. This should be thought of as entertainment, a guide to what we expect to see on the day of the 11th, and to prove to you that extrasensory perception can be used practically in the real world. But if you're actually going to trade this stuff, you're serious about trading SO Meta, you go to our website, Tarot for Traders, hover over Order Now, click on Subscriptions. Early access subscription is our intro subscription. This might be $200 by now. If it's on $100, then you grabbed it right before it became $200. Or $1,000 for the year. Either way, it gets you the earliest access to any of our public posts. They come out on our Discord channel first, and you get you the access to the live streams questions, which is basically you drop questions in here throughout the week, and they're answered on the next available live stream. You get the day trade alerts for SPY and swing trade alerts for SPY. You can ask as many questions as you want, and you get all the SPY videos, all as part of the early access subscription. Subscribe here. Much love and appreciation to everybody that goes ahead and does that. You're the reason why we're able to do this stuff full time. And we're getting ready to automate some of the system that can allow for us to do a lot more videos, a lot more content. Or I should say a lot more tickers, not necessarily more videos, but more tickers. So blessings to all my angel investors. You know where to go. I'll see you guys on the next one.